Welcome to another edition of the Gulo. And now, here are the Larrabee boys, Zach and Kyle.
Well, welcome back to another edition of the Gulo here on this beautiful Monday, Tuesday. Was it? Is it Tuesday? No, it's Wednesday. Goodness sakes, I don't even know what day.
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's how Michigan football has us right now. We're just in a tizzy at all times because we don't know what day it is, when it's dark, when it's night out, when it's light. But no, it's always good to talk football. It's always good to talk football. Again, we have Kyle here with us today. Myself and Zach. We are the hosts here on the Gulo, and man, it's good to be back. We get to continue to kind of talk through this drama here that's going on with Jim Harbaugh, the coaching staff, and just this horrendous turn that Michigan football has taken. I mean, goodness sakes, we know the Rich Rod era was bad, but I think this era is more disappointing for the simple fact that Jim Harbaugh has come in to win championships, beat our rivals, most importantly Ohio State, and take care of the games we're supposed to take care of and get to the college football playoff. And it seems like every year we have just been digressing. In this season, goodness, man, it has just been the worst of all. We have digressed, I feel like, years every single week, and we just can't seem to get our foot on the right pedal. It seems like we're going in reverse, and we're not really sure what to do. And so we're asking our followers and our people, what do we do? And I know, Kyle, you have created a poll for that we're going to go into a little bit more towards the end of this episode of what we do moving forward. But I want to hear your thoughts a little bit before we jump into this game. We're going to kind of do a recap today of the Michigan-Wisconsin game, about a 10-minute or so recap on, again, what completely went wrong. It may be the only bright spot of the game, and that is Cade McNamara, and he came in later in the third quarter. But besides that, it was just horrendous. And so, Kyle, I want to hear, before we jump into this, I just want to hear your thoughts a little bit on this game.
Well, Zach, from the outside looking in, you can easily tell that this team is bad. I mean, it's a bad team.
Bad team.
There's no way around it, and it's hard to even sit here and continue to talk about the same things week and week after week after week. We know what the problems are, and we know this is a bad team, and we know that this year is going to continue to be a struggle now. And we weren't sure 2 games before this if it was just a fluke game, against Michigan State, or if we truly had a bad team. And Michigan State, that after that we played Indiana, and that kind of sealed it for me. I kind of knew right there that this was not going to be a good season. We're going to continue to see a downward spiral, downward trajectory. I just didn't think, I knew that the staff wasn't going to be able to pull this together for the Wisconsin game. So the biggest thing is I picked Wisconsin to lose by 3. I really thought Michigan was going to be able to figure it out and come back and win by a field goal, especially because Wisconsin got ate up by COVID throughout the whole season, except for the first game. So we didn't really have much on Wisconsin, except that Mertz was looking really good that first game. Their tight end was looking really good. Their running back was looking real good, but they weren't, we didn't have much on them. So I'm going off the basis that Michigan's had so much more experience now going into this season that they're playing each week by week, that they should be able to get this together before they play Wisconsin. And it was just a complete nightmare. I mean, my first initial thoughts were just disgusting. I'm disgusted with the program, disgusted with Harbaugh, the staff, disgusted with the players, the way they played. I mean, you had lack of execution. That's the major thing, is lack of execution. And it's not just, it's basic execution, basic fundamentals, basic technique, basic drive. And it's just no motivation to want to continue to push, or lack of focus to want to push. And then all the other reasons kind of surround around that, which include poor coaching from top down, really poor leadership on the football team, throughout the players, and I think throughout the staff. Um, the lack of discipline, the penalties. It's disheartening to see us lose this bad against a team in the big house.
Yeah.
And I don't care if there's no fans. I don't care if it's COVID 2020. Hardball went out in the streets rooting and protesting to have a season that bad, and you got it. Schlissel gave it to you. The Big Ten gave it to you. The fans wanted it. We haven't even had this major COVID breakout like Wisconsin has, and then we get showed up at our own football field. To me, as a fan, it's disgusting. It's heartbreaking. It's just embarrassing, downright embarrassing to lose against Michigan State, to lose against Indiana, to lose against Wisconsin. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to see how far our program has went down this year, and I would have never expected it to hit this. Now, granted, I know we have a lot of injuries. I know we have a lot of young, inexperienced players on the team. That's part of this issue too, is we have a lot of inexperience, a lot of young blood coming in. A lot going on with that, and even some young coaches, I think, still, with Nua there. But the thing is, and Gaddis only a second-year OC, but the thing is with the talent we have, with everything we have, we should be able to beat up on some of these teams and make this more of a game. The gap, the score gap is what the problem is. It's not losing to Wisconsin. If we were lost by 3 or 6, and I seen that the execution was a lot better, the play calling was a lot better, everything was just tighter, then I'd be like, you know what? Hey, we're getting better. I see improvement. That's a good step. But we took 10 steps backwards, one step forward. And every week we keep taking steps back. It's a trend of us continuing to go down, step up. And that's the problem, Zach, is it's just not there. We're getting worse, and that all falls on the head of Harbaugh, and he knows it. He came out and took accountability of it last week, but then this week after the game, he's still kind of using excuses kind of to foot around what. And the thing is too, Zach, is I feel bad for the players. You got Nick Eubanks, who he took accountability. When he missed that pass and it bounced off his hands that he should have caught and it was intercepted, he said, I wasn't expecting that catch, and that's bad for me to say as a tight end, because I know that the ball is going to be coming to me very often, but for some reason I just wasn't expecting it, and it came and it slipped out of my hands. I dropped it. But he didn't make any excuses. So for everybody trying to say, well, they need to stop making excuses, they need to stop doing this and that, he wasn't making excuses. He wasn't, he's giving you, he needs to do better, and he knows it. Jamon Green, he came out and said, look, I've been starting out really slow, and then I get better as the game goes on. I get better and better, and I get tighter. But, I start out real slow in all of my games, and I need to work on that. I need to get better right off the gate. So he's taken accountability. So that's good to see his players taking accountability, knowing what they have to work on. But it's just not – it's not equivalent from practice to game, or their words aren't matching with the action. And I think all that falls on the head coach. It falls on the staff. But the biggest thing is execution. It comes down to execution, Zach, all day. And Joe Milton throwing the interception I put on Twitter, dude. I was like, is he like hired? Was he hired by Wisconsin? Or is he?
Yeah.
Is he playing for Wisconsin? What is this?
Yeah, man. Look.
He literally threw it.
Yeah. And I hear you, man.
It's just unbelievable, dude.
I think Urban Meyer hit it on the head. Like, if you just teach these kids basic fundamentals, and they trying to learn a scheme mid-season, it's over. It's over. We're way too past the point to where we need to be trying to work on a scheme. We need to simply work on basic football fundamentals that you learn when you're a kid. And if we do those fundamental things correctly, we have good fundamentals with football, we beat Michigan State, we beat Indiana, and we probably beat Wisconsin if we have basic fundamentals based upon the talent that is on the roster. And this isn't anything against Wisconsin. They're a really good team, but they didn't come out and do anything special. They ran the football, they did play action pass, and we got beat. We got absolutely beat, and has everything to do with their fundamentals. I picked us to win that game simply because Wisconsin didn't impress me a whole lot in the Illinois game, and I think they're a good team. And I think Graham Mertz is the future, obviously, probably the best quarterback to come through there since Russell Wilson, and maybe the best quarterback to come through that program ever. But nothing looked at like Wisconsin didn't wow me this game. It wasn't that Wisconsin beat Michigan badly. It was Michigan just continues to beat themselves, and it all comes down to their fundamentals, and it has everything to do with these coaches. I mean, again, we feel a little bit better that Harbaugh comes out and has some accountability, but then on Monday it comes out and he says that he doesn't have anything to be embarrassed about, that he's not embarrassed about the way that his team played, and then the way that his team played, and then on the other end you have Coach Newell who said, "I'm really embarrassed that this isn't right for our team to be playing like this." It's like Newell is trying to protect his job, and Jim Harbaugh knows that he's so safe that he's going to get paid, that he's not going to get fired, that he just doesn't even care, that he's going to say whatever he wants. And it's just, again, Jim Harbaugh, it's like the moment a kid or somebody makes a mistake, or even an adult, and they don't say sorry because they really feel bad for what they did. They just say sorry because they got caught. I got caught, stealing a cookie out of the cookie jar, and I'm going to go back and do it again. I just feel bad because I got caught. Harbaugh felt bad reactionary on Saturday because he was embarrassed by his own pride. But then you come to Monday and Tuesday when he had a couple days to kind of regroup himself, and now that kind of calloused back over to him coming back to the old Harbaugh of, oh, I don't have anything to be embarrassed about. I think it's the same.
I like the metaphor, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same old song that we see him writing over and over again, and we're going to get more into our frustrations with him and stuff at the end of this episode, but I kind of want to jump into this game here and dissect it as we walk through. We're going to be able to hit pause and kind of talk about it and stuff. But something that's not on that video is right off the bat when Michigan runs out of the tunnel. And I know that there's no fans in the stands, but Doug Skeen was at the game. He said, look, this team came out flat. Wisconsin was able to create their own energy within their team on the sideline, and Michigan just came out like they were clocking into a 4-hour shift and just wanted to hurry up and get the night over with. They came out with no emotion, not ready to play.
And that was all over Twitter too, was the fact that when they ran out and they hit that banner, they slowed down and they just started walking, to their huddle. And it was very alarming to see that. And this is what we've been echoing all year, is that they come out flat every game. They come out not ready to play. It takes them a while to even get moving. And then the Twitter rumors of Zach Charbonnet, Charbonnet's dad tweeting about, him not playing. And then I guess 24/7 Sports or somebody from USC, I guess a pretty credible source, sports writer source, came out and tried to say that Zach Charbonnet might be transferring to USC. And that got shot down pretty quick from Isaiah Hole. And pretty much his credible source, which he says is very close to Zach Charbonnet, which I don't know who it is, but I'm guessing somebody that knows him really well, said, hey, we need to cut this quick. He is not going anywhere. He's at Michigan. He's staying at Michigan. But yeah, it goes back to the biggest concern too on the offense is what's going on with the running backs. I mean, I don't even know what's happening. I mean, they're playing every running back like it's a car show. And
Hassan Haskins got one carry the whole game, Kyle. Hassan Haskins got one carry the whole game, and he is our most punishing back.
Yeah, and then we also, I think Charbonnet should be carrying more. Yeah. I think we should be doing a little bit more of what we did last year, kind of like Isaiah Hole said. That's echoing him. Where we ran more Zach Charbonnet, and then you toss in Hassan Haskins and you toss in Corum and a little bit of Evans, but it's just not, whatever they're trying to do on offense, it's not working. I don't understand it. There's no flow. And it's also hard to get the offense really running the ball and going when your offensive line can't block correctly. And then on top of that, your defense is chewing up, tossing out points, 20 points right off the bat, 30. So, and then it doesn't help when Joe Milton throws a ball straight to their linebacker. So,
well, and what really helps me respect programs like Wisconsin and Notre Dame are they know that 3 out of 5 years they're going to field a really good football team. They're going to field a really good football team, but they will never stray away from who they are. They know what their brand is. They know what their program is. They know what they're trying to run. They recruit players into their system, and they don't stray away from it. And they say, you know what? We're going to beat you with how we're going to beat you, with how we perfected this art. And Brian Kelly and Paul Chryst at both Notre Dame and Wisconsin, they run a very simple but powerful offense that has great play action, great blocking. They say, look, we're going to beat you with what we know we can do. We're going to either win by this or we're going to lose by this. You know what we're going to do, and we're coming at you with it. And guess what? They have successful programs 3 out of 5 years. You see Notre Dame a couple years ago, they got kind of shaky there for a little bit, and Brian Kelly went right back to the drawing board. He did what he needed to do, but he's not doing anything different now that he was doing 6-7 years ago. He's just continuing to work at what they do with their program, and now it's paying off because you see, again, 3 out of the past 5 years, they've been in the college football playoff twice, and they're doing
well. Then you're also
right.
And you're also bringing in you're producing brand players like Jonathan Taylor.
Yes.
You're producing people that are going to the NFL and having all this talent. Michigan, we have no identity. We don't know who we are. Harbaugh can't figure out. He can't even explain to the public, to the media, who we are. I mean, what we're trying to do. What is our main goal here? We have nothing. It's nothing. Yeah. It's horrible. It's the worst Michigan football I've ever seen.
I've ever seen in my life.
I know we went through the dark age with Brady Hoke, and that was some pretty bad football too, with Rich Rod and Brady Hoke, especially with Garner getting thrown into Penn State, the whiteout, or having, Mr. No Headphones trying to run a game, and then having what's his name thrown in there that was hurt. Remember he had broken rib or where it was.
Shane Moore's had a concussion, was thrown back in there, and
Shane Moore,
this is exactly what I said before. This is not as bad maybe as the Rich Rod era as far as the roster that we have. We have probably the best roster that we've had since Lloyd Carr days. But this is the most disappointing era. This is more disappointing than Rich Rod because of the talent we have and how bad they are coached and unprepared they are. And so I'm
going to tell you right now, man, Harbaugh is letting the Michigan fan base, and that's you guys out there.
Yep.
That's you, Zach. Michigan fans, man, we're all upset, dude. This is disappointing. It's sad. I mean, if you would have seen me from the first episode of this year, from beginning of Gulo Sports to now, man, I've been eating Zaxby's for like 3 weeks straight. You know what I'm saying? If you follow me on Twitter, you'll see how much Zaxby's I've been eating, man. I mean, it's just stupid. Like Zaxby's is my emotional craving. It's my emotional food that I like to eat when I'm sad and depressed when Michigan's losing.
And so Zaxby's is even roasting Kyle now because he's so sad. Zaxby's is roasting him on Twitter. So if you want a good laugh, if you really want to know how bad we're doing right now as fans, go to Kyle's Twitter page and you'll see Zaxby's just roast him with one word. It's funny. We all got a good laugh out of it.
CB
Icken. But why don't we go ahead and get into this game, Kyle? Why don't you press play and let's go ahead and just dissect. I don't even really know if we're going to get into Rutgers today because there's really not much to tell. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose. But let's just go ahead and dissect this debacle we had again at the Big House. And
look, I mean, the thing is too is the Rutgers game. We should beat them. We should beat them. I think we have them by 9 points, but we should beat them a lot better than 9 points even. And if we don't, I'm telling you, look, everybody can make the case that Michigan State beat. Everybody can make this case that Michigan State got beat by the Rutgers, and then Michigan State beat us. But the thing is, Michigan State had like 7 or 8 turnovers, whatever it was, and a huge amount of penalties. Or else they would have beat the Rutgers. That's the thing is the amount of talent we have, there's no reason why we should not beat the Rutgers. And I know why are we even here at this conversation where we have to worry if we're going to beat the Rutgers or not, right? Like, it's
I don't
just
know.
stupid. Dude.
If I'm Jim Harbaugh, I'm putting the quarterback under center and I'm running the football game and I'm going back to fundamentals of running the football, blocking your man, throwing the ball to easy routes. It's going to be the most vanilla game plan to get your players used to playing regular, simplified, fundamental football this week. And it will work.
Formation.
Whatever you got to do. I don't know. They're in a hole. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. This is the opening kickoff. This is the opening kickoff here. So
yeah, let's say everybody let's tune in here. This is how bad this
So we'll see what's going on. Great return.
Flat.
Getting pushed back. Just getting straight up pushed back. Our defensive line got zero pressure, and that would have been a big first down. Here we go again.
All right, right there. So, I mean, right off the bat, in the highlights, you're seeing the first kickoff, kick return, they're just flat. Nobody wants to hit. Nobody wants to run down execution. Blocks, missed blocks, no pressure up front on the defense. We're having issues with practically our entire offensive line being able to get up and go. And then obviously our tight end there dropped the pass, like we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
He just didn't know it was coming for him. You know, it's how do you not know the ball's coming for you? You got to be ready. I mean, you got to have your head in the game, bro. Yeah. Where's the focus? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, let's keep going.
Let's keep going. Drops it in interception, actually. Yep, interception. So they get the ball back. Great end around. Because you know what? That's another thing that our ends are not staying where they're supposed to be doing. They're crashing down. They're leaving open that end wide open. And then right here is just big boy football. Right here is just smash mouth football, and we're going to lose every time because we're not getting any push.
What were we saying on that last play again?
Our ends instead of our ends staying their ground, staying in there, holding their gap to push anything, to keep anything inside, to keep contained, they're crashing on down. And the ends are able to get around. Now, I know that's kind of a tricky reverse type thing, but look, your ends are crashing down. They're going way inside, and it's leaving all this room on the outside for that. You can't do that. Fundamental football. Stay in your lane. Do your job. All right?
All right. And then the next play, it just eats me up because it's like, really? Like, you know you lost the game already. You lost that war when – it's smash mouth football. You're on the goal line, and you just get bulldozed.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. Go ahead and run it. I mean, it's exactly what it is. It's big boy football. It's just insane, man. Weak side on the offensive line is kind of backdooring it, allowing the line to pursue up. But you see the left side where they're running the ball on, just getting pushed back, man. Just getting pushed back.
See that? Pancake block from fullback.
And then we have a chance to get back in the game right here. I don't even know where he's throwing that ball to. I don't know where.
Look at this. This when you rewind this too. Our right here. I think it's Vastardis. I mean, you got a double team block on your player, but you got this end that's going to do a cross route right here. He's going to come around. Well, they have to be able to either Zinner's got to be able to chip block or stretch off and pick that up and let him get it, or you have to come around. You have to use your feet technique and come around and pick him up because now he's coming around the side. You got this wide open area, all that pressure. So Joe Millen, he's already got happy feet. You know what I'm saying?
And it's a basic stunt. It's a basic stunt. Wisconsin's not throwing anything in there. It's a basic stunt that they're running.
Exactly. Not throwing in there. This is basic blocking, basic skills of pass blocking. This is all this is. Then look at the pressure that's coming off here as well. You need to be able to get him out. So Joe Millen's not having to jump into the pocket.
Well, and when it comes down to, I mean, Joe Milton shouldn't have thrown that ball. I mean, Joe Milton was going to throw it to that spot the whole time. I mean, it's not.
Well, that's also a part of him being an inexperienced quarterback, and he's having happy feet, and he doesn't trust his line anymore. He doesn't trust anybody. He doesn't know he's throwing to, and he just throws it straight to the Wisconsin defense. And that right there, I lost it, dude. I wanted to pull my arrow.
Yep.
So Zinner missed that block.
Just bad all around.
Joe Milton can't tackle.
And right then there, Joe Milton should have been pulled out of the game. I mean, he just lost all confidence. That's funny.
Okay. I mean, this is what we've came to, Zach. This is the Harbaugh era right here.
Right there. That's it.
That's the Harbaugh era.
That's how it's marked.
And again, we're gonna see this right here. You see what I'm saying? So he comes back around. He's supposed to pick him up.
Which he read it. It was just too late. It was just too late. And so.
But as a quarterback, that was a horrible throw.
Oh yeah, it was awful.
He should have stepped up and ran, or he should have pulled out of the pocket.
Again, big boy football. Great. And you know what?
Who's supposed to be on him? You know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna leave him wide open?
Well, it's easy. I mean, it's Wisconsin's running the ball so well that they have to respect the run. You think 99% of the time they're going to run the ball on the goal line, so you bring everybody up and it opens up the play action. It's actually a really good play design. And I think you started the game all over. Maybe. No, I think it was maybe an ad. But yeah, I mean it's big boy football, and when you get used to them running the ball like that, they're just going to open up the play action. So good job to Wisconsin. At this time, I was like, man, he's lost all of his confidence. He throws his helmet down right there or puts it on the – and then here we go again. Big boy football. It's simple. I mean, every play watches is the same. It's not, you know what I mean?
I mean, who's supposed to be picking up this tight end, though? You're leaving these tight ends uncovered. And what's this?
It is a mix of them trying to do both man and zone coverage, and they just don't know how to do both. They don't know. The Michigan defense has been wired so much to play man defense that.
And look at this, number 34 is bulldozing. I mean, there's been they've literally manhandled this entire game. All game, man. Again, big boy football. Bulldoze. So 14 minutes, right, in the second quarter, and 21-0.
And now at this time, we're just we know it's over. We're laughing.
I mean, look at this push, dude. Look at that push right there on the offensive line. Just bulldozing our defensive line over.
And look, Paul Chryst isn't doing anything special. I mean, gosh, it looks like he came in with the same game plan he did against us 2-3 years ago. Same thing.
Let's rewind that real quick. Okay, when I get ready to play this, you're going to see that whole right side, just how much push that right side on the Wisconsin offense got on our defensive line. You'll see just how much of a gap there is right now between Wisconsin's power and Michigan's power on the defensive line. And it's just unbelievable to see how weak we really are. And this right here proves it, that Michigan has taken 10 steps backwards.
I mean, it's as simple as this, Kyle. As a defensive lineman, getting off the ball and shooting your gap and sticking down in there, these defensive linemen are standing straight up. And when you have a lineman and our defensive line is already smaller than what it should be. So when you have a big offensive line like Wisconsin getting low and driving and our players are standing straight up, I mean, look, it's a recipe for disaster. You had that left tackle on the weak side cross our defensive lineman's face right there and just totally drives him back. Yep. And look at how straight up they're standing. And look at the offensive lineman for Wisconsin. They're 10 yards down the field, and they're still in a squatting position driving. It's technique, man. It's simple fundamentals.
Really unbelievable to see this.
Simple fundamentals that you look at this and you say, what have they been doing for a year? What were they doing during COVID time when they said that they were practicing like they had a regular season ahead of them?
No pressure. No pressure on the quarterback. Watch this play. He pulls around. Guard pulls around. Perfect, beautiful block by the tackle. Good pull by the guard up the middle.
At this point, the game's over, and the players know the game's over. They're not even going to try to play at all the rest of the game. I think they had one spurt of energy when McNamara came in.
Ooh, that reminds me of me right there, buddy.
Yeah.
That reminds me of me right there, that pull. Oh, I used to love doing that. Here, we got to watch that one more time. I wish it was Michigan doing this. I mean, this is just textbook perfect. You couldn't run a perfect play if you're Wisconsin right here. If you're the offensive line coach, you're just loving this. Watch this pull. Bam! Bam!
Well, it's not anything different than Wisconsin was doing 20 years ago. It's the same offense. They're running the same. Well, I mean, a little bit more progressed, but it's the same thing.
And Carl Kemp's just, I mean, these boys are just standing straight up. It's 28-0.
I'll tell you this right now. Wisconsin's not doing anything special, man. Like, they're literally just putting their bodies in front of each other.
Now, this was the best play that Joe Milton had, right, coming up right here. And this gave us a little bit of momentum and kind of put us back on track for a second, for a quick second. It was Joe Milton's best throw I've seen. Just perfect finesse, perfect touch, drops right into his receiver's hands. This is what I've been waiting for all season, was that power throw, but also that finesse where it's right in the breadbasket, right where you want it. And it unfortunately just didn't happen practically the entire game.
Yeah, it was a good throw.
Giles Jackson, man, I love Giles Jackson though. He really is a true good wide receiver, and I think we'll get better and better. See, we get a little bit of momentum, good blocking, good pull. We start pushing. That was a good pull.
Yeah.
Joe Milton. Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
Push. Now this is where.
Look, I'm going to say this right now. This is probably as bad of a call as the Wildcat against Michigan State on the 1 yard line was. I do not understand why we have Ben Mason in a 6'5", 250-pound quarterback, and he is lined up in shotgun behind him on 4th and goal. I have no reason. I just don't. I don't get it.
Was that the play too? No. Later in the game is when Evans almost scores a touchdown.
Maybe.
And he misses, and he's short, and everybody thought he scored. And Michigan put on their Twitter page, and we score, Evans. It was like the first time we score all game.
And then we didn't score, yeah.
And we didn't score, and I put a comment on there. I don't think he made it. I think we're short. And they found out right after that he was short. That's just unbelievable. Like, nothing went our way at all. Like, can't score a touchdodown. Like,
so again, look, you get to the 1 yard line, and when you put your quarterback in shotgun, Kyle, on the 1 yard line, you're already making yourself lose 3 or 4 yards. And so I just don't understand. Again,
now I see some spurts here. You got Ronnie Bell catches some good catches, Zach Charbonnet running up, it's a little bit of good blocking right there. So, we're starting to see some improvement right here. Some good plays coming together. That was actually a perfect throw. It could have been close. I mean, it just wasn't there. It was good.
You know what? The biggest highlight of this whole season so far is that Nordine can actually kick a field goal now. But now it doesn't matter because we're down by 28 points.
And again, Michael Barrett.
But look, it's simple. It's simple offense, Kyle. Wisconsin is simply blocking better.
Tackle? What's going on with Cameron Grone? What's up with our boys not tackling? Basic technique and fundamentals.
And what's funny with this Michigan defense too is they're down by 25 points, and yet they just continue to run their mouths after a play. Sometimes it's after even they get beat, or they just. I just think it's silly, man. Silly to see them for some reason think they're above their opponent when they're down by 25 points. Just wrong attitudes all around the board.
I do think that could have been a fumble, though, honestly.
Could have been.
Okay, our defense steps up there, get the ball back. And where is he throwing to again? But he's under pressure. And why are we – I mean, we're down 28-3. Which, he's at this point, he's just trying to get rid of the ball.
And he had decent protection there too. But again, hey, look, it just is what it is, man. It is what it is. It's the same thing over and over, Kyle. They're collapsing the edge on us. We're not keeping contained there. Simple man to man, even double coverage.
Our linebackers getting burned.
Brad Hawkins supposed to have the coverage with him over there, and he continues to give that up.
It's just unbelievable because me and you sat there and watched the whole game with a lot of other fans, and we see it on Twitter, man. The frustration with this game is just.
It's like a bad addiction. You need to stop, but you can't stop watching because it's just so bad. But it's just so funny.
Yeah,
it's like a bad caffeine. It's like a bad caffeine addiction. You need to stop drinking coffee because it's going to keep giving you headaches, but you keep drinking it anyway. Again,
I mean, he was hit turn, but he didn't see it hardly.
The cardboards are even starting to leave.
Okay,
this right here is probably the brightest drive of the game when Cade McNamara comes in, and he kind of reminds me of Ian Book, right, from Notre Dame. The same numbers, same kind of body structure, moves in the pocket the same way. Dude, just beautiful. Gave us the spark we needed. And you know what? I think he would have let us down for another touchdown if we didn't hit the punter on the defense the following drive. I think that kind of lost our momentum on defense moving forward because Cade McNamara was feeling good. He was getting ready to come back in and put together another beautiful drive for Michigan. And then we had him on fourth down, and our punt return team hit the punter, and it gave him a first down and just lost us all of our momentum. Right here's that 2-point conversion from that drive. Beautiful. He's just dropping buckets, man. Dropping it right in the bucket.
And this goes back to this too, is why didn't we see this in practice? Is it Joe Milton just is that much better in practice than he gets out on the game and he's not better? I don't understand where if Cade McNamara is throwing these beautiful finesse bombs, right in the breadbasket every play, and he just looks this much better.
Well, for one, Kyle, when your defense is as bad as ours, you probably don't get a great look in practice. Practice speed is a lot different than game speed. And Cade McNamara probably wasn't getting nearly the same amount of reps as Joe Milton was when he got the starting position. And so they're not able to see these things because it's just totally different in the game than what it is in practice. That's why so many times you see quarterbacks who start the season and 3 or 4 games in, they'll get benched because they're just not getting the same look in practice that you get in the games. And so right here we see very clearly that Cade McNamara has more of a natural ability right now to throw the football and to run the offense. And again, it looked like he kind of stalled out later in the game, but that's just because Michigan's defense it's beautiful. And then he would have got the ball back again, but again, our punt return team, messed up, and Wisconsin got the ball back. And
so who's supposed to pick this dude up right here? You got the same number 84 tight end guy keeps going out when he's wide open. Why can't Don Brown adjust this yet? Why are we not adjusting to picking up these short passes that keep eating us alive here? I don't understand what this whole what the thing is. We should be picking this up right here on the end, right? Our edge should be picking this up.
Why don't you go ahead and press play? Let's see what's going on here.
Maybe we should have a safety that's coming down to help out. I don't understand it.
Well, see, again, I'm going to tell you right now, Kyle, before the season started, Josh Ross, we bought into the hype that Josh Ross and Cam McGrone were the best duo linebackers in the country. Josh Ross has had an awful season. There's been so many times where he's been out of position. He's not reading the defenses clearly. Josh Ross's responsibility on that play was to pick up that tight end who was crossing his face, and he failed to do so. You saw that he got sucked in because his eyes were stuck to the backfield instead of his assignment. That's what happens when your eyes are not focused on your assignment and they're stuck in the backfield for the circus show that's going on. Then you're going to get beat every single play.
Well,
it's fundamental football, Kyle.
Oh, this right here's technique right here in execution. Watch this. Now, nobody knows how to tackle, by the way.
It's a circus show, man.
I mean, literally, I feel like we watched a bunch of clowns out there on Saturday night. I mean, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
We don't score any more points the rest of the game. Look, in this game, we don't see Wisconsin do anything abnormal. They do the same thing they've been doing for a long time, Kyle. They're running in between the guards. They're running off of the tackles. It's very simple.
Ross.
And that's it. That's the final score of the game. We lost 49-11. It's simple, Kyle. We are not playing fundamental football. Every single time you see one of those runs go for 40, 50 yards or for a touchdown, it's because our guys are out of position. Our guys are crashing down. Their eyes are stuck in the backfield watching what's happening back there, and they're not sticking to their assignments.
Well, you just seen McGrone get burned. Like he was.
And I'm sorry, but it comes down to coaching, man. These are talented football players, and they just look unprepared. I mean, goodness sakes, man, Josh Ross is the most seasoned linebacker on our football team, and over and over again.
What is are these guys waiting for? They're sitting back on their heels waiting for him to come into it. I mean,
look.
So that's all we got. I'm turning it off. I'm done with it for today. Usually I play highlights. Today's not a highlight day. I'm sorry for everybody out there watching. This is the first time that I got to turn the TV off because it's unbelievable. It's sickening, and I can't even watch my beautiful 90s highlights because I'm so sad.
I mean, I'm done trying to live in the past with that, dude. It's been so long ago. I mean, we can celebrate the fun moments that we remember when the anniversary comes around, and I see the anniversary on Twitter, 20 years ago today, this beautiful play happened. Cool. I'll celebrate it then, but I'm not going to sit there and just rewatch these old games back when TVs used to be, boxy and you used to have a, we didn't have the Roku on the TV. Sometimes we grew up, we still had the TV remote and dad's old box TV built into the TV to where you have to go up to it. That's when Michigan was good. They're not good anymore. They're really bad. And again, man, I know I just feel like a broken record, but when I say this, it's fundamental football. When you look at Wisconsin, they didn't do anything special. They ran in between the guards. They ran off the tackles. They did play action pass. And we couldn't even stop it because our eyes, and we were not putting ourselves in positions of our own assignment. We see our defensive ends crashing down, not holding, containing where they're supposed to be. Our guards are overshooting their gaps. Our defensive tackles are overshooting their gaps, and they're ending up 3 or 4 feet in the backfield, and the play's already past them. You have Josh Ross, who's supposed to be walking along with the tight end. His eyes are stuck in the backfield, and the end goes right around the end, and he's crashing in. It's the same thing over and over. It's fundamental football. And but now let's go ahead and transition to our last segment. Is now we bounce back to the what do we do with Harbaugh? Okay, we saw this bad game again. We see simply our players being uncoached, unprepared going into these games. Jim Harbaugh seems to, again, he had that moment of vulnerability to where he said, I need to do better. We're not a good football team, to now kind of that rock has been kind of covered over his heart again. His pride has gone back up, and now he's back to, there's nothing wrong with us. We're going to go out and try to be 1-0 this week. And there seems to be obviously a misunderstanding on the coaching staff, because Coach New is saying that they are embarrassed, that they are a bad team, that they need to get better, that this isn't the right way to be playing. Again, it's a guy trying to save his job, and Jim Harbaugh knows his job won't be lost. And so, Kyle, I want you to kind of run us through your polls a little bit, because he had a couple different things. A lot of people voted on it too, and a lot of people saw it. What should we do moving forward with the coaching staff? So why don't you go ahead and bring us through that?
Well, I mean, originally it was like almost 100 votes came in on Twitter, with, I think it was like 48 to 50% saying fire Harbaugh, or fire entire staff, and then like another 15% saying fire just Don Brown to 20%. What I seen was this, and then I redid it. So from last week when we lost to Indiana to this week when I retweeted the exact same poll and asked everybody to redo it again, I seen a bigger majority actually call for firing the whole staff and Harbaugh, compared to just firing Don Brown. So this week we had another 53 votes come in. 62%, whopping 62% was to fire the entire staff, fire Harbaugh. And only 28% was to fire Don Brown. And then 0% for, or it was 8% for being patient and waiting another year. So, we see more people jump on the fire the whole staff and the fire the Harbaugh train, and a little bit more decrease on just firing Don Brown, and a decrease on being patient. So you can obviously tell the fan base is getting riled up. And me and you were talking today and yesterday about Harbaugh and about this whole situation. We talked about in the last podcast together about how it wouldn't make sense to fire Harbaugh or fire the whole staff right now, to at least wait until next year. Brad G, he had a comment under the survey this week saying, what I would do is fire Don Brown and Nua, or what would make sense would be to fire Don Brown and Nua right now, and then let Harbaugh ride out his next year contract. And this way we can, that's what he said. Now, for me to add on to that, I would add on and say, I think that's perfect, because it gives us another, and it gives us this next year to start looking for that next coach. And it helps to not hurt our recruiting classes for 2022. So I think that's what I would say, go with and be patient, because you never know. Harbaugh might come out next year and go undefeated, and then we're pull the chains out and try, hey, he finally figured it out, but I highly doubt that would happen. Me personally, I'd be calling up Coastal Carolina's head coach saying, hey buddy, you need to come and check out Ann Arbor and see if you like the cold.
I mean, you never know, man. Again, you look at Brian Kelly in 2017, and they were such a bad team. He fired all of his staff, and the following year they went undefeated and went to the college football playoff. And so, obviously again this year they look like they're going to be going again to the college football playoff. And regardless of that Clemson rematch in the ACC championship game, even if they lose that game, I'm sure they'll still make it to the playoff, because they have that win against Clemson here earlier in the season. But so again, I guess there's that thing of let's just let him ride out his contract one more year. And if he goes undefeated, he could do that. Who knows? We don't know. He could do great, and when all this stuff could be behind us, he can make the adjustments and fire the coaches he needs to fire. Or we let him ride out his contract. He does another awful job again, and we take a year and we bring the right man in here for the job, and then we part ways with Harbaugh, and we don't owe him any money because he wrote out his whole contract. We just don't re-up it. Now, that's the positive side of me. I think that's the most positive side as I will get is the most positive I will be is let him ride out his contract and then just don't renew it next year. The negative side of me, I think, is what's most likely to happen, and that is Ward Manuel is going to give Jim Harbaugh an extension regardless of what next year looks like, and the rest of the fan base is just going to be up in flames about it. And so I don't think Jim Harbaugh is going to get fired. I think he will on his own realize that he has failed and that he will step away on his own timing. I don't think he's going to be let go. So this is the question we have to ask. Will Jim Harbaugh do what's best for the university? Because Michigan is bigger than himself, even though he's a great name here and a great child of the Michigan family back when he played. He is not above the Michigan brand. Nobody is. And so is he going to put the program before himself and step down, or is he going to accept the contract extension and be here for another 3 to 4 years at least? Who knows?
Well, time shall see, Zach. We don't know. And money talks. So, and also this is where Harbaugh grew up. This is where his dad lives. Dad lives right next door. He's back at his home. He loves Michigan. He's got passion for this place. The president or not the president, but the AD loves him. And so it's hard to say. There's still a passionate fan base out there that really loves Harbaugh just because he is that Michigan man, and he was a wonderful quarterback for Michigan at one point. And it reminds everybody of the Bo Schembechler age. So you have that huge part where you have a huge part of this fan base that still believes that he can get the job done. We just need more patience, more grace. But me, when I look at the trend, you have 6 years, a trend. It's just went down. It's continued to go down. It's been a roller coaster as it goes down. There's been a lot of ups but more downs. And how do you see yourself getting better? I don't understand that. I don't see that happening. And so either the AD, the president, and Michigan as a whole, the alumni, the boosters, the fan base, we're either going to have to accept this new Michigan attitude, the way our culture is going to be, we're worse than Indiana.
Yeah.
Or we fire Harbaugh, we get on the South Carolina train, just like firing Muschamp.
Yeah.
And we get ready for next year, or the following year. But
who knows? And I want to make this clear, and I know you feel the same way to our listeners and those, like, we are not attacking the person Jim Harbaugh by any means. As a person, we are simply showing and bringing above the surface again, like everybody else is, that as a coach, he is not fit for this Michigan program. As a person, look, I wish him the best, and I know he's got a great family, and for his own mental state and his mental health and him as a person, like, man, I hope he's going to be okay mentally after this, after failing at this job. But as a coach, man, I mean, the guy's making millions and millions of dollars. We're giving the team our attention, our resources. And, as a coach, he's got to go. But as a person, I do wish him the best whenever it is that they do transition. Or a miracle may happen and he may go undefeated next year, be Ohio State, and go to the college football playoff. Who knows? But that is more so of a distant dream that has been shattered and is sitting at the bottom of Lake Michigan right now. And so, but anyways, Kyle,
Titanic is sank, buddy.
Yep, it is gone. And we'll again after this game against Rutgers, even if we win, it's not going to build any confidence in me, because I know even if we beat Penn State is actually worse than Michigan right now. And I don't think that a win against Penn State will even encourage me, because I know we're probably going to lose to Maryland, and we will definitely lose to Ohio State this year. And so,
we could see this where we win the rest of the games out until we play Ohio State, and that's the best we're going to have. That's what we're looking forward to for the rest of the season, is trying to win the rest of these games out until we play Ohio State. That's the only improvement I can see, and the only thing we can take out of the rest of this year is see some type of improvement for the younger class, and maybe we can scrap together some good stats going into next year. Or we're going to continue to struggle. We might beat Rutgers struggling, and then we get our butts kicked against Maryland and Ohio State. But yeah, I mean, what are you predicting for the Rutgers game?
I mean, it's prime time. I don't know why they keep giving us prime time games. We don't deserve it. I mean, gosh.
And why we would be prime time against Rutgers, right?
So the nation can see us lose to them. Yeah. My prediction. I mean, look, I'm going to give it to you straight, man. Rutgers is not a great team, but they're a lot better, and they're moving upward, and they have a lot to play for. And Greg Schiano, it's at Rutgers, all right, it's over there, and at their stadium, and Greg Schiano's building their confidence. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play fundamental. They're going to do the same thing Michigan State did against us. They're going to play fundamental football, and they're going to attack our weaknesses. I honestly don't. I'm going to go with Rutgers, man, and it's not that I think they're that good of a team. I just don't have any confidence in Michigan. So I think we're going to lose prime time. I don't think Jim Harbaugh is going to be able to get his team up for that game again, mentally, emotionally. He can't prepare teams at home, let alone on the road at nighttime. So we're going to lose this game. I'm going to say it's going to be, 32 or 35 to, 30 or 35 to maybe 28. I don't know.
Well, that's very disheartening. It's sad. And it's embarrassing to hear my brother say that, but it is true. I think you're right on. I think you could be right. Isaiah
Unless I'm sorry, unless Cade McNamara starts. If they start Cade McNamara, from what we saw last week, I think we could have a shot to win. I think Joe Milton is just so not ready right now, which blows my mind because he's been in the program for 2 years and he just still looks like he looks like he just walked on campus for the first time 4 weeks ago. But with Cade McNamara in there, I mean he looked naturally just more gifted and better. If Cade McNamara starts, I'm going to say that's going to flip my score. I think Michigan will win. But if they start Joe Milton and try to ride that wave, we're going to lose momentum and we're going to lose.
Well, yeah, good Isaiah. It's really good. I like it, Zach. Isaiah Holster, there's no way we're going to lose to Rutgers. There's just no way. Like, possibly we could lose to Rutgers. And I believe what Isaiah Hole, a lot of what he says, because he's a smart man. He knows his stats, his analytics. I'm going to keep with Michigan. I think Michigan will pull us out by 10. I know Vegas has the odds. Michigan up by 9. I think it's 8.5. I say a solid 10. I say we're gonna have them just by 10. It could be. I think it'll be like I don't know, like a 38-28 or somewhere on those lines. Yeah. I guess 34-24. I don't think it'll be super high scoring, but I don't think it'll be. And I do believe, I think that either Joe Milton's going to improve a lot this week, and we're going to see a different Joe Milton, or you're going to see Cade McNamara in there. Can't say his last name for nothing. It's like a tongue twister. But I think I'm taking.
All right.
Taking Michigan again, buddy.
There it is.
Even though every time I wear this helmet this year, we lose.
Yep. It's okay though, man. Who knows? If Joe Milton, doesn't try to throw a 100-mile-per-hour fastball to a receiver 5 yards away, then maybe we'll win. But anyway, man. Again, our downslope right now isn't going to stop us from continuing to end the show faithfully like we have been. And so, again, I want to give a couple animals in our life just a shout out and a moment of silence that mean a lot to us. We're going to start with Corky, our Cocker Spaniel, who again he died thankfully before Michigan football died, and so he was able to watch as a dog Michigan's glory years. So let's go ahead and have a moment of silence for Corky.
I put him to sleep too.
You did. That's sad. No, did you?
Huh?
I don't think he didn't. My mom put him to sleep. That's weird. All right, moving on to Suds. He died. Again, a little Bichon, a little guy, lost all of his teeth, but lived a long way. He lived in like 3 different states and died at old age. So let's go ahead and have a moment of silence for Suds. And last but not least, our our dog Mia, miniature collie, overweight, and died after eating Little Caesars pizza. So let's go ahead and have a moment of silence for her. Love you, Mia. And then we're going to continue to advocate for Murder Wolf. We haven't seen him. Gosh, his costume's probably just hanging up in his closet all year, or he just never takes it off and he's just eating nachos and crying all over himself this year. But anyways, Murder Wolf, if you're out there, we're advocating for you. We need you on the sideline next year, buddy. Hopefully you can be there and maybe turn some of this momentum back on our side. And so, and to all the Ohio State fans, to all you Buckeye, yep, go ahead.
Great. And memory to Bo Schembechler. Bo Schembechler. Yesterday, 2006, passed away. So a moment of silence for Bo.
Moment of silence for Bo. That's right. He was a great coach, and hopefully we can get back to those days. And we appreciate everything he's done, because he's the reason why we still get to relive some of the memories in the modern era of football. And so, and to all you Buckeye fans out there, at Seth Friend, a good buddy of mine who's an Ohio State fan, we had a great conversation this past weekend. You guys are going to obliterate us again this year, but you guys are still going to be down by 6 games. But you'll pull up to us shortly, and you're going to pass us in that record. But until that happens, go Blue. We're still on top, and we've enjoyed having you guys with us again this week. And we will see you next week for our regular show. But we have a couple extra fun episodes for you guys this week, as we have a friend, a diehard Florida Gator friend, David Hellman, coming in with us this week. That show will be live this Saturday morning. And we have a Thanksgiving special with Dan May, the other edition of the Gulo. Mr. Dan's going to come in and join us, and we're going to talk our favorite Detroit sport moments heading up to the annual Detroit Lions Thanksgiving game. So appreciate you guys, and we will see you next time here on the Gulo.